Oh, that was the wrong button, Jeremy.
Well, hit the right button, my friend.
Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Hey,
That's
that looks better. Welcome, everyone, to Chain Out Podcast, Season 2, Episode 61. Hope you're doing well out there. We see the chat's already filling up. Fantastic.
Fire.
It's exciting to see that. Hey, Daryl?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody's here. We welcome Sam, Sonia, Dina's in the chat, Logan.
Cobb's here, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited.
I think
Josh. Josh has just joined as well. Hey, Josh.
Hey, do you remember when we were doing it before? We were talking about the Romper Room Magic Mirror. It feels like anytime we're going to read out names, we need to be looking through it.
If you know, you know.
That's right. Well, if you don't know, one of us on this team of these wonderful podcasters from Canada is part of our local disc golf association, the Edmonton Disc Golf Association, and is actually the communications member at large. And we figured when we have such a, what would you call it, like a gateway or
an avenue?
Yes, like just a information highway, we should shout out some quick EDGA stuff, don't you think?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, what do you got for me, communications guy?
For people in the Edmonton area, training camps. Everybody needs to do training in the wintertime, right?
Of course.
Indoor, in a indoor arena, field, February 7th to 28th, March 7th to 28th, 8:30 to 11. Come along, get free lessons with Edmonton coach Gabe.
Oh, they're going to be free, are they?
What did I say? Did I say free?
Yes.
No, they're not free. They're $120.
$120 for a 4-week session. I've done them the last 2 years in a row. They're fantastic, and I've talked about it before. Gabe can teach me the same thing over and over again, and I need to learn it over and over again. So I'll be there again this year.
Your form is not based on Gabe's teaching technique. It's just the fact that you just cannot get it through your head. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you learn it today, you remember it for an hour, and then you go back to your old form immediately. Yeah. You need to learn it all over again.
Putting League started this Wednesday, runs until March 19th. It's the same place as it was last year, Cattail Crossing. You went last year. Obviously, It's on Wednesday, so we're unable to go for some strange reason. We might be busy on Wednesdays.
Exactly. But it's fantastic. In that place there, you can drop in. Like I'm sure with a lot of the EDGA programs, if you wanted to just check it out or you could only go once or twice, drop in. They'll probably charge you a small fee. But Cattail has an amazing restaurant. So what I really liked was we'd usually go about an hour before Putting League started, have some supper and talk to people and just talk disc golf. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We like talking disc golf.
Always.
And then the big one, Tundra Toss. First tournament of the season. February 23rd. Registration is January 20th. As always, or as it has been for the last year or two, Tundra Toss combined with Welcome Day. Pick up your bag tags. Last year they had a disc swap. We're not sure if we're going to be doing it this year.
Oh, okay.
But stay tuned for details of other things that may be happening. 2 rounds. First tournament of the year, as I said.
Yeah. A good way to
always a good fun time.
Yeah, a good way to get your rating down for the start of the year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully we don't end up like last year where it was beautiful in the morning and then blizzard in the afternoon. Maybe we'll get some intermediate temperature.
Sam just put an interesting question. Live Putting League episode.
Hey, that would be fun.
Is that something that I don't know. We'd have to speak to the organizers just to see if they don't mind 2 guys setting up in the corner.
Yeah. I think we might be able to swing it. We'll talk to Brock. You've got a connection. Also, too, quick reminder, we are sponsored by Cardinal Disc Golf. We are on the Crimson team. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. And got great gear like the stuff we're wearing now. Our discount code is CHAINOUT, and it'll get you 10% off. So make sure to use that if you think you might need some cool looking.
And that does go in with something that you mentioned last week, Jeremy. We had the 3 disc giveaway that you were doing. Mm-hmm. We gave one away to Jared Lauder.
Yes, we did.
The other 2,
I got a Glow Vanish, and then I've got an R2. What was it again?
It wasn't an Insanity.
It's a mid-range.
It was not Tempo Went.
No, Tempo Went. Anyways, we got 2 discs. And we have them to give away to the first 2 people who use our code. So check that out.
Yeah.
One of the things we didn't do for a while, Daryl, was we didn't talk much about what was going on in disc golf because there wasn't a lot going into disc golf. We don't really get into the whole US thing, but there's a tournament and there's a tour going on right now.
Reactor.
Reactor. That was the other one. Yeah. There's a tour going down in New Zealand right now. And Sophia Donica is down there and she won her first tournament of the year of 2025.
Spoiler.
Already. Not much of a spoiler because that information is out there. If you follow her socials, you'll see that. We don't want to tell you how she won though.
No, exactly. I did kind of put my foot in it on the Cardinal Disc Golf, the Cardinal Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I was all excited because if you haven't seen it yet, spoiler, MPO results incoming.
Yeah.
Cardinal sponsored athlete Robert Burridge took down the win on the MPO side,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, I wanted to congratulate him in the Discord. Be in there, like promote our teammates, and then everybody was like, "Oh, spoiler! I guess I got nothing to watch at work tomorrow now."
Okay, people are funny that way because just because you know something doesn't mean it's not exciting to watch. Because there's so many things that can happen in a round for sure. And after it's done, it's done. If it's live,
it's not live though, Logan. It was recorded. It was well, that's true. You can't. Yeah, if you follow it, you can't spoil it. Yeah, if you're watching, you would have known anyway.
We won't tell you more about how it happened, but Go Throw Disc Golf has got the coverage up. You can watch it and check it out. It's something you've already started. I'm going to be doing that as well. Okay, we got to hammer through a couple more top of show things because we got to get to our guest.
Yeah.
So another guy out there in Canada who's doing some cool things is Tobin Isaac out of Ontario. And what he is he's a player with Goat Towels. He's sponsored by Goat. And last year in 2024, he actually played 52 PDGA tournaments, taking the Canadian record away from Thomas Gilbert. And as a result, they made a cool Goat towel.
Go back and watch our Goat episode. We talked about it there.
And he sent us this Tobinator towel that commemorates his accomplishment. So congrats, Tobin. Thanks for sending that to us.
That's awesome.
Something I wanted to show.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to show was a shout out to one of our other previous guests was Karen Martell. I found out that she had some mantras still with her logo on them. That's one of my favorite
Jeremy
discs.
loves a mantra.
So got my Karen Martell signed mantra with her mandala.
Mandela.
Yeah, pattern on there. So that's really cool. So just a couple of things I want to shout out because I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's always, mail calls are always good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then the last thing I want to shout out is we've had a contest going on for quite a while for local disc golf where we had a hat and a badge, and then we also had a chalk bag and a badge. Both of those have been won. So congratulations to Sam Western and to Brennan McKinstry for going to Local Disc Golf's channel, finding a video they liked, tagging Chain Out in them. We'll make sure you guys get your prizes. And Daryl, what's happening after Chain Out before we get to our guest here?
After Chain Out, it's the same thing we do every week. Sponsored by our Patreon followers, we have Around the Basket live. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, head over to our Patreon, sign up. The link is on the Patreon. It's free. If you want to support us over at Patreon, we really appreciate it. If not, that's fine. We do an Around the Basket episode. We get a different guest on each week. It's a little bit more laid back, not so much of a interview format as Chain Out Podcast. We talk about random things. We pick a subject. We go off. Me and you disagree. Mainly disagree. Not last week, though.
Last week, we actually were on the same page for once.
Yeah. This week, we've got a longtime supporter, Patreon follower, Andrea Michaud, joining us on the podcast. We're excited to talk to her later on.
Yeah. And that wraps up our top of the show. So let's get to the intro of our guest. Last week, one of our listeners posed a question in our comments and said, Jeremy, isn't Vancouver Hollywood North, not Toronto, which is where Brian Henniger was from?
Yeah.
So I said, Daryl, well, if that is the case and Vancouver is the Hollywood North, then our guest is from there, or otherwise known as Terminal City. That was a nickname I found. Or my favorite, Vansterdam. Not only is he a disc golfer, but he's the art director for Prodigy Discs. He's the co-owner of Cardinal Disc Golf and the owner of Mosolf Designs. Join us in welcoming Lane Mosolf to the podcast.
What's up, guys?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the... Thanks for taking your time out to come and join us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
I will say, I am originally from Calgary. I'm from Alberta as well. I live out here now. I have lived here for a while, but yeah, Calgarian, born and raised.
That's always nice to have some
Oilers
Alberta
fan.
roots.
Yeah.
So with the Vancouver side, when you're living out there, like to answer that question that we were asked, what do you think? Is Vancouver really Hollywood North, or is it Toronto in your mind?
I mean, they're like filming TV shows and movies like literally next door to my apartment all the time. So I think it's got to be Hollywood North here. And even out
Seriously?
near Rapid Knoll, like our big disc golf course out here, there's right next door. There's a big fake like film prop city out there, like a whole town. They film all these like Hallmark Christmas movies on it. So
Oh, really? That's cool. I think I heard it, and I don't know if it's true, but I think that Riverdale show was filmed over there by Raptors as well. I had heard.
I'm not sure specifically on that one, but
Yeah.
probably it very well could be.
Nice. And so with all of this filming happening around and about when you're walking around, have you seen anybody famous or had a chance to rub shoulders at all?
No, I haven't seen anyone famous from
Aside
film
from
and
yourself,
stuff.
of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Getting recognized all over Vancouver for sure. I did see Alex Ovechkin one time downtown. That was kind of cool. So
Yeah.
not a film star, but a star to me.
Yeah, definitely. For any Canadian who's a true hockey fan, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Well, sir, when we start our interviews, if you haven't seen this before, we always like to find out how someone got into disc golf, but just saying, hey, how'd you get into disc golf? It's kind of boring. So I come up with a far-fetched origin story for you. And what I do is I try to base it on a movie and get our listeners to guess. So listeners, get ready. Try and guess what movie I've got here for Lane for his origin story. And I'm going to throw this at you, and it gives you a chance to think about what the real origin story is. So Lane, maybe as a teenager, you were just like most high schoolers. You were out there skateboarding, playing guitar, and looking for someone to take to the prom. Oh, and you also had a strange inventor friend. He was working on a frisbee that could fly further and straighter than any disc ever. His secret was the plastic blend, which included a touch of uranium. He needed someone to test it out, and you'd been known to whip a disc pretty far. You took that disc and threw it as hard as you could. It went at least 88 miles per hour before disappearing. That one throw turned you into a disc golfer, and every now and then you wish you could go back in time to that day and do it all over again. Well, that's not likely how you got into disc golf, but why don't you tell us how it really happened?
Well, the beginning was close. It started like parallel to skateboarding, but not in my high school years. Actually, was a little bit older here. So during the pandemic, everything sort of shut down. No hockey, nothing. So I was just kind of looking for something to do. I was skateboarding at the time still, and me and my buddies, we went to skate park here in Vancouver, and everyone else at that time was looking for outdoor things too. So the skate park was just completely packed, like no room to skate at all. And my buddy I was with was just Callum. He saw like like disc golf basket beside the skate park, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to try that?" And I had seen disc golf baskets around and like sort of knew what it was somehow without really knowing about disc golf. And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, let's try that out." We went down to like, I think he wanted to try it with ultimate discs first, but again, somehow knew that disc golf existed and there was like a special disc for it. So I looked up online where we could pick those up at a store called Abby's that doesn't exist anymore here in Vancouver.
Right.
Walked into Abby's. They got the wall of discs and it's just colors and stamps. And it's like, I think even before I bought my first disc, I was like, okay, like this is sick. Like this is for me. So we went in, picked up one disc. My first disc was an Innova Rat. The person at the store, like it wasn't a specific disc golf store, so he was kind of like, I don't know, like yeah, this one
Sure.
would be good. I was like, oh, it's got a cool rat on it. Why not? We went to Queen Elizabeth Park, and I remember like trying to just get that disc in the basket from probably like 20 feet for like an hour. Like that's how I started off. Just like this is hard. I like this. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were mentioning there about skateboarding. Now, last year, first tournament of the season, we went down to Spring Runoff in Lethbridge, and we were lucky enough to play with a guy called Lyndon Strandquist. Now, we put it out on social media. What a cool guy, right? He said that when he found out that you were coming on the podcast, he said that we should add that you're an impressive skateboarder as well. We should add that to your list of accomplishments.
Well, that's nice of Lyndon to say.
Do you still
Sorry,
get
go
out
ahead.
and skateboard?
I stopped skateboard. Like disc golf kind of replaced it really quickly, with disc golf being like independently sort of like you can go out anytime and do it, and it's pretty much free to do. Skateboarding is the same way. It's like different than hockey or some sort of scheduled sports. I can go out whenever I feel like and as much as I felt like. And with skateboarding at the time, as I was getting closer to mid 30s and stuff, I had been dealing with some injuries, specifically like a separated shoulder several times. That like it made skateboarding really kind of just scary. Even the most basic stuff, and it's like without progressing in skateboarding, I was kind of like not enjoying it as much. And to find this new thing that had this big learning curve was like, okay, this feels like I'm a kid again, like finding out about skateboarding. So I don't really skateboard too much anymore, but I did buy a board this summer. My shoulder has been better for years now, and I'm thinking about getting back into it a little bit more, but I'm still just like still have the disc golf bug. It's like when I have free time, it's like I'm going disc golfing. So
Yeah.
Well, Lyndon's over 40 and he still gets out there.
Yeah. So
He's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he shreds. And funny enough, Lyndon was a guy that I used to watch like in local skateboard videos when I was growing up. Like he's a little bit older than me, and
Right,
yeah, looking up to him and watching these videos called like Still Down in Calgary. And yeah, Lyndon was one of these kind of older rippers that, I mean, he's still killing it today. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hope to get back on the board.
Yeah, I can say I had a skateboard. I can say I tried to, but beyond an ollie, there was not much I could do. So,
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned that you started out with that rat disc, and I'm always curious when someone tells us about the first disc that they had. Do you still have that rat hanging around, or is that long gone?
There's a pond at Queenie on hole 9, and I think the rat has found its final resting place in there as I got bold enough to try and throw it over the pond. So I don't have the rat with me anymore, unfortunately, but I'll never forget it. White and of a rat, star plastic, rainbow foil on it. Rest in peace.
Nice.
Yes.
Take a moment for the rat.
I love it. It sounds like it holds that special place in your heart. It's like your first love in disc golf.
Yeah, it was the first one in the store that I picked up, and it's just like immediately after that, it's like back to Abby's, just looking in like, oh, I can just build this arsenal. It just hits some sort of the nerdy part in my brain where it's just like, this is awesome. I can look at all of these stats and plastics and categories. Just
Yeah.
Well, Josh is in the chat here, and he's saying that you dominate the Vancouver night hockey scene right now. You're basically the West Coast Shoresy.
Really?
That's pretty generous of him. If you count like Div 12 as like dominant sort of. So doing pretty good down in these lower divs. But yeah, definitely no Wayne Gretzky here. But yeah, I love playing hockey too. That's something that's kind of been a crossover passion here that we had at Prodigy. It was like doing our NHL licensing products and stuff.
Yes.
That was really cool for those two worlds to collide, and it was surprising. I had no idea before I was joining Prodigy that we were going to have like NHL licensing or anything. It's like within the first month or so that came up, and I was like, what are the odds that this is happening here?
Right.
Disc golf and hockey. So
Yeah. Well, and that was something that we did have to ask you about, was because it seems like such a cool collaboration and something that in the short time we've been in disc golf, I haven't really noticed too much happening. Like Prodigy finds an IP and associates with it and then puts out in Canada our favorite sport, and everybody can have their favorite team in their bag. So has it been just as successful as far as as it seems like it should be to me?
Yeah. Some of our products for the NHL have been like some of our best sellers. Like the PA3s, we did some black ones, some black and gold and silver ones. Super, super popular. The PA3 itself is our most popular disc in the first place. But yeah, it's been successful with the NHL stuff for sure. And we're looking forward to releasing some more stuff coming up this year and, into the future here. So
Yeah.
Well, Daryl, I should insert it here. Is, when I see these collaborations with other IP brands and other things like that, it really gives me a lot of hope. So does it mean that there could be one day that Jeremy could have a Taylor Swift M4 in his bag?
That would be my wife's dream disc. So I'm going to work hard to make that one happen.
Now you got two. Now you got two. Because you think I'm joking, but I definitely would take one.
Not just your wife's.
Yeah, I will get Will, and we'll see if he can pull any strings in the disc golf world. Find some connections and see if we can make Taylor Swift work out for some discs here.
It would be epic. It would be the best thing to happen in eras, I think I would say.
Nice.
Hey, but
I don't get that reference.
No, you don't get it. No. It would be a swift. It would be a swift move to do it, don't you think?
Okay.
No, yeah. There you go.
Okay, that's enough.
You can tell we're dads, right, with the jokes that we're throwing down. But maybe if we can, let's go to Cardinal first and start there. And when we were talking with Kevin Fodry just before Christmas, he kind of gave us the story. He told us a lot of great things about you. He said that you were both disc golf creators and you were kind of in a group at some point, and someone posed the question, can someone please create disc golf gear that doesn't suck? And you guys said, yeah, let's do it. And almost the next day he had a company registered. Is that quite how you remember it happening, or what's it from your side?
Yeah, basically. I think for a while there was an Instagram group chat with a bunch of the core, like 6 or 7 of us that were designers or marketing people in disc golf, just chatting about stuff and sharing stuff we worked on. And I think someone mentioned that me and Kevin had talked before, plenty of times before this group chat, and then he had messaged me after someone brought that idea up that we should make an apparel brand. I think it kind of just started as a little bit of a joke, and then I don't know, we just decided to go for it. He had connections to like manufacturing and getting all of that kind of stuff done, and I was able to kind of sit back and just work on creative stuff that is fun for me, like a side project, just get to make stuff that I want, clothing that I think is cool. So he kind of got to do all the hard, difficult, like tedious stuff that I'm like, I don't want to deal with it, like taxes and setting up business and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's taking great care of that and run the social and the promotion and stuff, and I get to just design what I think is cool stuff that I would want to wear on the disc golf course. So.
Yeah. And you're doing just that, because the stuff we've seen so far is just fantastic, and we're so excited that we're part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're happy to have you on board too. I mean, the response for what we've been making over the years has been really amazing and incredible. Like, this is just passion project for me and Kevin, and to see other people really liking what we're doing, it fuels our kind of, motivation to keep this going. So
nice.
Yeah. So when we were speaking to Kevin, he kind of let us know that you and him are quite far away from each other, and that you've never actually met in person. But yet you're running a successful disc golf company. What do you think? What do you think it takes to run a successful disc golf company? What's the secret to making that happen?
This might sound like that's just the corniest answer, but it's just like, be passionate about what you're doing, and this can probably be applied to just not even outside of the company and that kind of stuff. Just your career, if you're into disc golf, whatever it is, it's like, just find something you're passionate about. Focus on that, and don't focus so much on the results or that kind of stuff. Just go with passion, and I feel like a lot of the time the rest will work itself out.
Right.
And with Cardinal, that seems to just be the case again. We both love doing this. We're not, breaking in a ton of money or anything like that. But every time we see someone enjoy one of our jerseys, give us feedback on the stuff that we are doing, it's just like, yeah, this is fun. I love this, so I'm going to keep going. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
I
think Kevin had even mentioned that neither you or him had taken a paycheck from it. Everything that you get from the company just kind of goes right back into investing to promoting people, promoting the sport, promoting everything.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't taken any money out, and we had sort of agreed to this beforehand. Like, we want to make sure that any profit that we have is going back into the company, into our players, into promotions and that kind of stuff. So it's been nice that we haven't had to spend money to continue to grow. But we haven't made any money personally off of yet, but it's great to have this like money to be able to sponsor tournaments and and pay players for performance stuff and continue all of that. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then Kevin was mentioning too when we talked to him about how the team is grown, and that's another part of taking the money and actually trying to sponsor as many players as you can. And we've just been talking endlessly about how stacked the team is this year and how many great Canadians there are, including people we've had on the show like Miguel Alvarado, Gabby Lee, Mason Howard, Daisy Kelly, and it's just all these people with this good energy. And Daryl, are we allowed to say it? Dare we say Chain Out Podcast now too? Do we fit in that group?
Can we say that we're in that group?
Yeah, that's awesome. Daryl, I think you got this part right.
Do I?
Yeah. Do we need to settle something
here?
Okay,
yeah.
I think so.
When we had Kevin on the podcast, right at the end, he was mentioning to us that during the application process, you had a red, yellow, and green approval system. Red meaning not quite yet, maybe in the future. Yellow, maybe, and green, yep, you're all on board. At the end, he said, "Oh yeah, you Chain Out guys, you were red, but somehow we got on the team."
Yeah.
So
do we have you to thank for that?
Yeah. Did you go to bat for us to get us on the team there?
There were a lot of applications, and I can't remember every single part. Really, but the Canadian team was, I think, 99% my choosing. So it would have been me that put it onto the approved side of things.
I think that's what he said.
Yeah,
he was. I think he was hopefully joking. He's like, "Yeah, you guys were double green, yeah." And then later on, after we were finished the show and he got off, we saw him hop in the comments. "Oh, sorry guys, I double checked. You were double red. I don't know how you got on." So thank you for squeaking us through. That's what we want to say.
Yeah, definitely my doing then.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and with that, and talking about the team, what do you think of the Canadian team this year? Are you pretty happy with it so far?
Oh yeah, for sure. Miguel, again with a lot of our team, yeah, Miguel's just awesome. Like his energy's so good and he's so friendly. And when I was starting to disc golf here as well, going to the course could be intimidating. There's really good players and stuff. And Miguel, I don't know how, just learned my name somehow and was friendly to me anytime I was at the course. And so, from there, just super nice guy, good energy, and obviously great player. So super excited to have him back this year. I've been working on finishing up his jersey today actually, and I think it's last year's one was really popular and sick. This one this year, I'm super excited to launch this one. I think it's even better. So
nice.
Yeah, and Gabby as well. I'm excited that she joined the team. Incredible disc golfer, and like you had mentioned, we have a few young guys on the Crimson team in the Okanagan and stuff. And I really like being able to grow the team at this grassroots level here in Canada too. So
perfect,
awesome.
And what is it that, Lane, when you're looking at the applications and that, so people who start to look at it for next year or they're thinking about being on a team like this, what do you look for specifically when you're going through it? Is it, some people are like, oh, we want to see the results you get at tournaments. That might be some certain disc manufacturers or what's your rating or something like that. But sometimes it's about, are you growing the sport or different? What do you look for? Yeah. What do you look for?
Yeah. And there's people here locally in Vancouver that have added to the team that I've met in person as well, and I try to apply this standard to anything online that I'm reviewing. But basically it boils down to kind of the values that we have on our website and that we've mentioned in the application posts. It's we want people that are engaged in their communities, that have integrity when they're playing, and someone who's just someone that would be a good card mate at a tournament or in a casual round, someone who's just good energy to be around. It's I'm sure we've all been at tournaments or leagues or even a casual round where you have someone that can maybe drag down the energy a little bit, being overly negative or whatever it is. And we just want people that are happy and passionate about disc golf, and when they're out on the course, they're kind of exuding that positivity. Because at the end of the day, it's good round or bad round, being out there on the course, being out in nature, should be restorative and social and enjoyable, and that's what we want to foster, people that are kind of going in that direction. Of course, performance, whether that's like social engagement, social media, that kind of performance, or on the course, is also a nice bonus. But for me personally, it's like, would I want to go on a road trip and play courses with this person? Would I want to be with them every day on a card kind of thing? And, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
We got in on social media then, because we definitely didn't get in on our performances.
I think we're pretty good to play with. I don't know.
No, we're definitely good in that respect. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Dylan, Alex, can you support us out there? Sorry about that. But yeah, the other thing too, Lane, you kind of mentioned it about Miguel's new jersey coming out, and I got his. He saw me at Nationals. He's like, Jeremy, what size are you? I've got one in the trunk for you. Just lay down your money and I'll get it on your back right away. So he's a great salesperson as well, which is fantastic. We love him. He's the first thing he wants to do when he sees you is he wants to give you a hug, which is amazing. That's the kind of energy I've always got too. And I'm always kind of cautious. I'm like, are you a hugger, or do I have to fist bump you, or where are we at? Right. So, but that's one of the cool pieces of gear coming out. Is there anything else? Because we've heard from Kevin, he said, you guys are going to have to hang tight, but there's lots of cool stuff coming out in 2025. Is there other ones that you can start to tease about?
I mean, I also did, Gabby has her team colorway.
Okay.
So for our flight team, that's like our top level touring pros. They're going to have their own individual designs, and our glide team has like different colorways of several jerseys that we created for them to go through and tell us what kind of custom colorways they wanted to go with. So Gabby has hers coming out. I haven't shared it with her, but we got like the print photos of the print samples. Sorry, Gabby, you'll have to wait, but we got photos of the print samples. They're so bright. They're so nice. I'm super stoked to get one of those for myself and to, show those off. So that one's on its way. And literally, I think more than another dozen custom jerseys and custom colorways. Like we're ramping it up, and all of this stuff should be coming out by February, I think. So
nice.
Perfect. Well, Darryl, one of the and Lane, one of the jerseys that I've ordered is one of the button-up ones near the top there. Do you think that would qualify as business casual, and I can just start wearing jerseys to work as well?
Oh, absolutely. If your employer has a problem with that, get them to give me a call. I'll explain that these are designed for business, business wear, on the course, whatever you need it for.
I think it's just the only problem is I might look too good for the office is what it is. I'm kind of a hoodie guy most of the time. So then they'll be like, Jeremy, why are you dressing up all the time now? Well, it's the gear. I don't know.
Yeah. I think we were a bit of a victim of our own eagerness, because as soon as we jumped on Team Cardinal, we were on the website, we were ordering all the jerseys. And then for people up in Canada that shortly, just before Christmas, Team Canada Post decided to go on strike. Yep. So all the postage and everything got delayed, and it wasn't necessarily where it was. It was it was held by a different shipping company, but because they weren't passing it on to Canada Post, they kind of held it down in the States. So we're now starting to see it climb. It's going through the parcel tracking process. We've seen that it's cleared customs now. So we know that it's probably in Canada or somewhere. Yeah. So it's only a matter of days now before I can stop wearing this hoodie and being so warm, because these hoodies are so warm. If you're looking for a winter hoodie, definitely get a Cardinal hoodie, because they definitely keep you warm.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, this is another thing, like with the shipping delays from Canada Post. This is something I have to say a big thank you to Kevin for. He deals with all of the people who have emailed asking like where their stuff is. So Kevin, thank you for, allowing me to not have to think about that side of things.
Yeah. And we had Cobb put in there too, that the creator series and we can tell you that I've ordered the one with the nice cardinal with his design on the back. So I'm excited to have that one show up too. But
I think that was one of the jerseys that we ordered the same.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
I've got one coming as well.
Yeah, he's working on another one. We're getting started on his creator series again for this upcoming season. And we have several other creators too that will be releasing, I think, after the signature series stuff goes up. So keep an eye on for that. We have other like social creators and stuff too. So that's the third piece of these signature jersey releases, like our signature team, the glide team, and then our creator series. So
yeah,
sweet, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Lane, not only are you the co-owner of Cardinal Disc Golf, but you also own your own business, Mosolf Design, and we want to hear a little bit about that too, because I can tell you everything I see on all of your socials with that looks amazing. So tell our listeners who don't know about Mosolf what that's all about.
Yeah, so I think back in 2018 or so, I started working full-time freelance and contracting. Started up Mosolf Design Company, which is, it's just me. But started freelancing and just working on a lot of side projects and whatever I could get my hands on at first. After transitioning out of the corporate world, I had worked in-house at several places and at a couple of agencies, but wanted to go in on freelance, just have a little bit more flexibility. I started working on just kind of anything that I could find out there. That eventually led to a job working at another agency as a contractor where we had some sports clients, which was really fun, some big names. That definitely helped kind of boost the profile of my portfolio. We had worked with Marshawn Lynch on a cannabis company. We worked with the U.S. women's soccer team. We worked with the NHL at that agency as well. So really got to get my skills honed in for sports stuff, I think, at that agency job there was contracting.
Right.
And then at that time, while I was really taking on some heavy projects at that agency for big sports names, I was getting into disc golf at that same time and looking into disc golf on Instagram, spending all my free time obsessing about disc golf and just looking online and trying to figure out, the design landscape of disc golf, and kind of noticed that it's, very niche. There weren't too many people working in this industry. Mm-hmm. And went out on a limb and did some design projects, like some contest type of logo design contest for, I think it was Calvin Heimberg and Kevin Jones and several other ones, Ezra Aderhold. And I ended up winning the Ezra Aderhold logo contest. He uses that logo now. Yeah. And also Calvin Heimberg's logo contest. And those ones are pretty high profile in this niche industry. Yeah. And from there, Squatch reached out to me to be my first real paid project in disc golf. They reached out to me to do all their branding and that kind of stuff. So they were the first ones to reach out with a real genuine budget to put towards branding and stuff. So shout out to Squatch for getting my foot in the door in a paid capacity in disc golf. And then they had a lot of connections as well from there, including getting to do the logo for Katrina Allen after that. They had introduced me to her. I got to do her logo as well. So from there, it snowballed a little bit. And yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's impressive just throwing out these names casually, hey?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So with that too, do you find now that with the passion that you found from disc golf, from going into Abby's and seeing those discs on the wall and then starting to work with these pros like Ezra and Katrina, is that where you would love to always kind of focus? If you could do the logos for every pro, would that be desirable, or do you still like mixing up and doing other projects as well?
At Prodigy here now, it's I get a good variety of stuff. There'll be pros that need logos and that kind of stuff occasionally, but I like getting a variety of work now. Logos are they're hard work. I don't know, to make something unique, it is a grind, and it can take a long time and a lot of effort to try and come up with something that's actually unique. So I'm happy to have some variety, but I would say my main skill set and stuff that I like to still do is brand identity development for kind of any business. It's fun creating kind of just the framework for what a company or business looks like and kind of their vibe and stuff. So there's certain campaigns and stuff I get to do at Prodigy where I get to flex some of that still, but it's a pretty big variety here, which is nice. Welcome to me.
Yeah. Well, and we see too is even when I saw one of your recent posts there, it's not just the big names like that because and I don't know if this is your team, but apparently the Vancouver Tankers can thank you for their new hockey logo. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's my team.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to do the ship with the anchor going down for our skill level out there, but
it's awesome.
I get lots of like side projects, that kind of stuff it's fun to do something outside of disc golf and continue to have some outside influence and remember that there's other stuff outside of disc golf. It helps with your designs in general to have a broad variety of stuff over time. But currently right now, it's still a lot of disc golf. So
yeah, well, it's awesome that when you get a Mosolf design, you're getting that human touch, you're getting that interaction with you. You're going to have that back and forth, how to set it up for the client and all that. But we're starting to see a lot more of people just putting in what they want into AI, and you're getting these crazy AI generated images. What's it been like kind of dealing with that? Is that something that you have to battle with? I mean, whenever I look at the AI generated images, you can just tell they're AI generated just from the start.
And before you answer, Lane, I just realized as Daryl poses that question that we've got a few creators in the chat, and we're probably not sure what door we're actually opening here, but we're still okay opening it. But we want to, we really want to know.
Well, I mean, for me, over the years, I've seen a lot of tools that were going to pop up that were going to say they're going to replace designers and replace the human touch, and it hasn't happened yet. I think that AI can be a useful tool in your process, but it's never going to replace humans.
Yeah.
For example, with some of the stuff that I have worked on with Kelly or external illustrators who are very talented, sometimes there needs to be this intermediary kind of phase where I'm trying to get an idea across to them that maybe has been translated from a pro, or I have to show a pro something, and it's like I will use AI to have an image that I can then pass to Kelly and say, it doesn't have to look like this, but this is the concept that we're going for. So It's like it helps with this intermediate tool there where we're processing, trying to get a starting point, and it makes it clear for him where we're going, makes it clear to the pro so we can avoid revisions, and it speeds up that whole sort of process branching between an artist and someone who, a lay person essentially. So that's where I've found it useful. But, anytime you're working with a person and they can have their creative touch, I think that's going to, always reign supreme. And anytime I'm working, even today, Kelly sent over a stamp design that we're working on. It's just beyond my expectations. It's just so sick, and I'm so excited. So this Prodigy signature series stuff he's working on right now, and it's just, it's going to be my favorite one yet.
I can tell you're excited.
Yeah, we can see your eyes light up just as you talk about it. It's so awesome that way. Well,
that's the thing. It's sending them over these kind of mock-ups, whether it's a sketch for me or some sort of comp from a AI. It's you send it to him, and his creative mind just takes that idea, and it's a whole another level that you can't even imagine. So,
yeah. Well, and with that, and we're going to get to Prodigy next, but before we leave this part of it, what I wanted to ask you was, there's going to be people out there who are going to hear you, and they're going to realize, what? Lane did that logo? And they're going to be right away saying, how do I work with Lane? Is that something that's totally open to? And if people are going to reach out for that, how do they go about it?
You can shoot me a message on Instagram at Mosolf Design. I would say right now I'm pretty busy with the Cardinal stuff.
Yeah.
But shoot me a message. Maybe we can work some time out. It depends on the scale and the scope of the project, but I'm always happy to work on stuff with disc golfers. Contractually, I can't do logos for pros that aren't on Prodigy. So if you're not pro, if you're amateur, we can work something out. And sometimes I like just doing these anyways, even if you want to trade discs for a logo or something. But
well, there's just doodling at some point, right? You're just your hand has got to be doing something.
Yeah. I should show you my sketch pads for logo. It's enormous sketch pads. Just you'll see the development of some of these logos, just tracing out 1,000 different senseless shapes. So many bad ones, and then you find that one that's good. Okay, here we go.
The fact that you just brought it up then about sketch pads, are you still paper and pencil? Like you're not like a tablet? Or is it, could it come in stages?
It was. I got a tablet probably about 2 years ago, but I still have my sketch pads that are stacked up. So now it's like on the tablet, it's just like document after document
Right.
of sketches there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, if it isn't players reaching out to you, we know it'll be TDs saying, yeah, we need a lane stamp disc for our tournament. Hey, Daryl?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, go ahead.
A Canadian here, great Canadian player, Noah Higgins. He reached out. He's on Prodigy. He reached out, and we're going to be working on a stamp. Yeah, Noah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Higgy. That's my friend has a PA4 with that stamp, and he calls it his
Yeah.
Higgy turnover disc. And I think he met him at Canadian Nationals and was like, "You're Higgy Higgins, yeah."
Yeah.
he's my
Yeah.
disc."
That's funny. Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. Spring runoff. We went down there. He and his mom Rebecca ran the tournament. He was selling his disc there. We were all about sponsoring and or promoting and helping out supporting. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Canadians. So yeah, he had his disc, and it was just after. No, it was just before he had his little accident there. So.
Yeah.
No, it was just after.
Yep.
Yeah, because I
But he
wanted
was
to make
getting
sure that
back.
I didn't want to bug him, but I'm like, can you sign it for me? So
Oh, he's more
I'm
than
all about-
excited too.
Yeah, exactly. He was more than willing to do that. So yeah,
Well, I'll say seeing his recovery from his accident and his health stuff was incredible to see how quickly he was able to get back in and be competitive. And if you're a supporter of Canadian Disc Golf, you should definitely go and show Noah some love and pick up his discs when he's out on tour. That guy, grinds it hard. It looks like, and it just came back so quick from that. So I mean, props to him.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. And did a great job going down to Australia and representing us in Team Canada at WIFDIF as well. So
Yeah.
it's fantastic. Well, we're going to get to it, Lane. We're going to say we got Cardinal, we got Mosolf Design, and that's it, right?
That's all he does.
That's it. Oh no, wait, you have another job as well. You're also the art director for Prodigy. So now how did you get into the mix with that one as we kind of go through everything?
Yeah, that one's kind of funny. It was completely like happenstance. I was working with this agency when I was freelancing that was in Amsterdam, and I was working on like a pet food brand. So completely unrelated to anything in disc golf. And at that time, I had done a few of these logo contests, and I think like Squatch's brand stuff. So I had several things on my Instagram and in my portfolio disc golf related.
Right.
And the creative director at this Amsterdam agency was like, just talking to him one day, goes through projects like, "Oh yeah, I saw the disc golf stuff on your page, and I work in a share office right beside the marketing director and e-commerce like director for Prodigy. His name is Ben. And did you want to talk to him? I think maybe they're looking for someone." And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, for sure,
Sure.
yeah, definitely." And then lined up a meeting with Ben, talked about what Prodigy wanted to do and that what they were looking for, and they had just around that same time hired Josh as a graphic designer. And yeah, I talked to him about having an art direction role. We worked out all the details on that, and ended up a couple weeks later starting up with them. So
Wow.
totally random. Yeah, just working on freelance for a company in Amsterdam, and boom, yeah, there you go. Prodigy's marketing director sitting right there.
That's kind of
They say
that
things-
kismet, right?
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
they say things happen for a reason. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so kind of being the art director, does that mean that every Prodigy disc that we lay our hands on has a little bit of Lane somehow on that disc, or for the most part?
At least I've looked at it. So yeah. The majority of them, I would say, like conceptually, I have some hand in, and come up with ideas that we'll send off to illustrators, or Josh will design some discs as well. He had done a bunch. He had done a whole series of discs for our Prodigy Club box a couple quarters ago, like a whole baseball themed box for it, which was super sick. But yeah, I'll oversee most of this stuff, and then I do design some of the stamps myself as well. I got to do one for Isaac Robinson's World Championship win last season, like a geometric type of design. And yeah, several other designs and stuff like that, as well as working on creating design systems for like our stock stamps, and how all of the different categories of like plastic and products and the logos that come with products and how that all works together as a design system. So
Right.
yeah.
So speaking of things that you may have had your hand in, or at least you looked at, what about the Chantal Badinsky logo? Did you have
Yeah.
did you design that, or what was your involvement in that disc?
So that whole series is by Cobb Kelly. Like he
Okay.
illustrated all of it.
Oh, there you go.
Although we both actually I did design some of that. So the framing around it and like the actual like graphic frame and the
Right.
stamp style I had done, and then he had created the illustrative part on the inside there. And
Okay.
then conceptually for that series, I had come up with the idea of like doing these sort of postage stamp looking graphics that sort of had different eras of flight over different different eras. Yeah. So I came up with the concept for that, worked with Kelly, and we both had a piece of that sort of together for that one. But most of the talent on that one is definitely Kelly's guys. Beautiful balloons, and the sunset, and the scene there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great discs for sure. And one of the things that we noticed, kind of Lane, was traditionally we've seen discs from Prodigy that they have the text on it, right? You got your PA3, your M4, your F7, your D2. But over the last couple of years, we've started to see more artwork coming in there. Is that a trend that you think is gonna continue with Prodigy? To you always maybe have those lettered and numbered discs, but is it gonna get to be more stamps and more designs?
yeah, for sure. Like like with every company, we have a stock stamp that a lot of people like. I actually really like stock stamps for many companies. I like that clean look.
Right.
But we still have those stock stamps, and those will carry on. But we have definitely ramped up the amount of artwork that's coming out on discs, and we're trying to get more of that artwork into wholesalers' hands. So you'll for sure be seeing more art and more creative kind of designs on discs as we go here. Prodigy's marketing and art team before me and Josh started was really small. So I think it was pretty much just one guy who had to take care of everything. So it's like an enormous amount of work
Yeah.
for one person. So I can understand that they didn't have time to do a lot of art stamps, but with me and Josh being able to handle things and having me get to be an art director and spend a lot of my time thinking of ideas, it gives some freedom to come up with some more illustrative stuff and design driven discs. So yeah, should be a lot more of that hopefully coming up.
Yeah. So when I took a look back through the Prodigy catalog, and we had a question in the chat here as well, which kind of goes along with it. I noticed that Kale had a Shadowfax, Isaac had the archive, KJ had the feedback, the distortion, and the reverb, all named discs. And like Jeremy kind of mentioned there about the H7, the M4, things like that. Mm-hmm. How do you get your name on it? How do you get a named disc?
I'm not actually sure of the entire like contractual process, but it seems like it's been reserved for like our very top kind of elite level players, like Kale and Isaac, Kevin. So I think it's got to be like you got to be a top performer, top touring type of pro to have work on that mold process and figure out what molds you want to have. I'm not totally privy to how exactly someone lines that up. But, I've had several ideas for Will saying like, let's do this for this player. Come on. Ideas are a dime a dozen. There's a lot of hard things to figure out manufacturing, but I would love to see some more of these player series discs come up in the next few years, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. And then the question that we had in the chat there was from Sam. Did you work on, I mean, this is the feedback that I've got here, but did you work on KJ's distortion stamp?
Yeah, I worked with an artist named Kevin Heitch on Instagram. He's Pirate Nate. He's done a bunch of stuff for OTB. He's worked with Paige Pierce. Super cool guy, lives up in the Pacific Northwest here, not too far from me. I came up with like a rough idea of the space helmet skeleton kind of thing with some reverberating sound waves, some feedback sound waves. And he just came back with that like again, just this artist touch where it's like, yeah, here's a nebulous kind of idea I have. Can you make it really cool and sick? And then he sends me that sketch, and it's like, oh yeah, great, nice, super sick.
Yes. Well, we were at a tournament last year. I guess it's 2 years ago now. We were in Alberta, and that was one of the discs that we could choose for our players pack. And I'm just like, what is that? I'm like, that is amazing. Just like the stamp almost knocked me over from anything I'd been seeing around. And, and we were still kind of new to disc golf. So maybe we hadn't seen everything, but still, even now that I've seen so much more, that's still a stamp. As soon as I see it, it just like it hits me in the face, like in a great way.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. Like I have a couple of notes down here that I wrote just so I could keep track of things, and the feedback one is in my top 3 stamps. So
is
glad
it?
you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that one, so.
Well, if you've got some notes there, we might as well hit that right now. Why don't you tell us what your top 3 stamps are? Because I want to know.
Okay, this one maybe it's more like top 4.5 here. So I got we worked on our Ultra Soft release just recently. We did a Color Glow Ultra Soft like 400 disc with a jellyfish on it that just said Ultra Soft. I don't have one here with me, else I'd show you, but that one was by Levi Whitpan. He had done a bunch of stuff with Kale for the Preserve. He's done a bunch of stamps for Airborne. Very talented artist, and yeah, he had the jellyfish that said Ultra Soft on it. Super beautiful disc. Very creative design from him. That feedback from Pirate Nate, love that thing. This one I do have, actually. I'm going to grab it here.
We're just throwing up the Ultra Soft there for our listeners to see.
Yeah.
You'll see that one in person too. It's like 2 foil, like the Ultra Soft text is different color, and it just is like weaving in and out there. Super sick. From Cobb, this one from Isaac's last World Championship win. I love this one.
Nice.
That looks great.
Yeah.
We called it Tyrant's Ball. I remember like going into this to the World Championships last year. No one was really talking too much about Isaac being like a top contender, even though he had won the prior year. And so once he won this back-to-back championship, we kind of wanted to have this, him taking the throne and taking the crowns of some bigger players.
I love it.
So really like that one. Justin Lago is another illustrator that I've worked with a lot. He did the signature series for 2023. He recently just sent through artwork for my tournament that we run here, the A3 Nationals, with these crows on it, and I think it's super sick. I really love it. It might be recency bias, but it's like one of my top now. And like I said, the feedback from Kevin Hyde, Pirate Nate. So those are some of my favorites. This one as well, like this, I think I mentioned to you guys, I'm gonna do a little giveaway for you guys. This one's part of this giveaway. So
we were saving that to the end, but a little bit.
That's awesome. Exciting. We love the tease for sure. Well, you know what? The thing is, Lane, we could talk about stamps probably all night, and we're not going to stop just yet because we got a little more time with you. Was another thing, too, is that this year, Prodigy's got these ones that have started to get teased. I don't think they've been released quite yet, but there are the pictures out there, are all of these bird versions of the discs. And Daryl's going to pull them up for us. Yeah. And like we were saying, you go from the letters, then you go from the foil stamps that are so detailed and look good, and now you're going to like these full color ones. Prodigy's doing a lot of cool things. And how do you feel about these ones so far?
Yeah, they've turned out, like the print has turned out. It's a new process that we're using, and I think this might be. We had some of our NHL products actually with this new printing process, but these ones turned out so bright and vibrant, and as you can see with these ones, it's like we sort of have that same numbering system and the like consistent numbering, sort of stock stamp numbers stuff on there, but along with these bright full color illustrations. So I think those are coming out soon. They are very bright. They're very colorful. They look that colorful in person. And we should be seeing like more of these kind of full color artworks coming out as well. I've been working on a few. We've had some illustrators working on a couple, as well as on Ultimate discs, which is another thing that's another big thing that we had just announced as a partnership with the UFA, like the Ultimate. It's an Ultimate Frisbee League. We're their official Ultimate disc for them. So we're going to be providing Ultimate discs for all of their teams. along with a lot of other, Prodigy related stuff. So when we see that's a big canvas for full color art as well. So there should be some really ultimate discs coming through as well.
Awesome. Josh just put in the chat there. They come out tomorrow.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah. Well, Daryl, didn't you have a question about those discs as well?
Well, I did, and then Logan, who's also in the chat, fellow Team Cardinal player here, wants to know, we've seen all different types of birds, but why was there no cardinal? Is that not you couldn't kind of slip that through?
There's been anytime I'm working on some sort of bird design or something, it's I don't know if I can sneak a cardinal in. It's I gotta knock the cardinal in. Will's gonna be like, "What are you doing? Trying to promote cardinal through project?" But
there has to be a line somewhere that you can't cross that line.
I'll ask Will. And I'm sure he'll be cool with me doing some sort of cardinal at some point. Although before cardinal even started, we did do for Isaac Robinson's Rookie of the Year disc, I think in 2022. We did a cardinal that was dive bombing through a forest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an older one. So there is a cardinal disc that I did work on.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, what we want to do is we also put it out to our Patreon members when we let everyone know that you were coming on the show and asked them if they had any questions. And I've got 3 questions for you, but I'm hoping I can kind of get just a bit of a quick fire yes or no so we don't dive too deep into them. But these came from Sam, who's one of our Patreon members. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
And the first one is, we kind of answered it there, but you had said your top 4.5, but do you have a favorite logo that you've designed?
A favorite logo?
Yeah.
Not stamp?
So it doesn't have to be a stamp.
Yeah.
Okay. I really love the Isaac Robinson logo. I felt like when that one came together, it was this really good aha moment where I was able to a lot of people online are like, "Oh, we don't want initial logos anymore." So it was it is an initial, but there's also a cross or a bow and arrow in it. So
yes.
He's a very accurate player. His name is Robinson, so it's Robin Hood. So it all worked together. So I think the Isaac Robinson logo was my favorite one that I've done.
Okay, definitely. Next one. Do you take any special considerations when designing a multicolor foil stamp, or is it just up to the person who's making the tool to figure it out? Is there kind of detail? What can you do with it? Yeah,
there's parameters that you have to stick within when you're making any kind of stamp, whether it's single or dual foil. Generally, when we're working on something, I will talk directly to either Josh or the guys in the stamp room, be like, "Can we do this? Are the tolerances too thin?" And Danny in the stamp room seems to be a magic man who just no matter how fine a detail I send him, he's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. So they appreciate it when I build in the tolerances where they don't have to line things up perfectly, but I've pushed them to their limits, I'm sure. And I'm going down to visit Dalton for the first time since I started working at Prodigy up in February 19th. So I'm sure maybe I'll hear a few words from Danny and the stamp guys.
Nice. That's awesome. And then the last question he had was, do you have to take extra care when designing stamps for specific molds of discs? So what he's thinking is it may not necessarily be one that's in the Prodigy lineup, but if you were to try to design one for a Berg or a Rask or a Misselin, would you have to design it differently?
Yeah, even for the discs in our lineup, on putters and approach discs, you can actually push the radius of your design out a little bit wider. And then drivers, because of the dominess, you can't quite get it to go as wide. It starts to you'll have more fallout and that kind of stuff. So the shape of the disc does definitely affect how you design stuff and the tolerances and all of that. So
yeah, nice. That's awesome. I wouldn't have thought of that. Good question, Sam.
Yeah, those are
Thanks.
Great questions.
Appreciate it.
And those were great quick answers too. I'm pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate what you've been doing and giving us all this timeline. And we're going to get to a point here where, you said you're probably going to be traveling down to go visit Dalton there. And what we would really hope doesn't happen is that for some reason you kind of get stranded on your way down, because you can happen when you're traveling, right? You be on a plane and you're stuck in a terminal. You could be driving and maybe you're taking a ferry across one place to another. You get stuck on an island, and it kind of brings us to where we're going next, right, Daryl?
You're so slick, Jeremy. I love it.
You've taken a relaxing cruise. However, the ship goes down. You manage to swim to an island, and fortunately for you, there's an 18-hole disc golf course. Which 3 discs are you taking with you on the island?
There you go. It's a staple of the podcast. It evolved from the beginning. It used to be putter, mid-range driver. We've had that mold broken. We don't care now. Which 3 discs are you taking with you on this island?
Yeah. All right, perfect. I have them here. These
Oh,
are
sweet.
Disc in person. That's even better. We love that.
These are the specific ones. So, not just the general mold, nothing like that. I got the exact ones I need to bring you
Nice.
Edmonton folks, and any of your Edmonton fans may not like this one, but I have this 400 A2 custom dyed. Michael Kirk, who's on our battalion team at Prodigy, he dyed this one for me, and it's been in my bag for years now. It's just the perfect approach disc. Super reliable. It's won me some tournaments too, so thanks to that one.
Yeah. We'll let that one pass.
I think so. I think we can. Yeah. It's Lane.
Yeah.
And then the next one is my putter, PA3 soft. These fractal ones. They're just so nice. Bit of give to them. PA3 was one of the discs that I had in my bag before I started working at Prodigy even. One of my first putter that I connected with and just stuck with it since. So the soft ones for that. And then you need something with a little bit of distance, but neutral, I think. I want to be able to play any course. I think this FX3, which is stamped with a Shadowfax stamp. I get some of these cool oddities from Josh in the warehouse. He hooks it up. But it's a FX3, so neutral kind of 9-speed. And then it's also got the dye job by Dojo Designs, who
nice.
They're sponsoring me this season to do some promotion and go out and play tournaments and stuff. So this one, perfect kind of you can forehand it, backhand, shape it however you want.
Well, you're gonna look good on the course with that disc, guaranteed. Hey,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there's a second part to this question that's kind of evolved now. If you could take one course to play, if you could transport that course onto this island, so you could only play this one course, which course would that be?
That's tough. I really like Pier Park in Portland, or Mossy Rock, which is in the Pacific Northwest up here, just in Bellingham.
Could you take 9 holes from each?
Yeah, if I could do that, if I could just blend those two together, that would be great. There's so much good disc golf down in the States too, like in the Pacific Northwest here. We're really spoiled for amazing woods course and stuff. But whatever they're doing at Mossy Rock, I think I'll go with Mossy Rock. That place is fun and challenging and beautiful, and it's just in a Pacific Northwest forest that you can't have a bad time walking around there. So
nice. So just to clarify, PA3, did you say A3?
A2.
A2, sorry. A2 and then the FX3.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Daryl, always when we do the Desert Island discs, it gives me 2 great things. It gives me 1 great disc to try if I haven't tried them already. And in some cases I've tried them or have them in my bag. And then the other thing is courses too, to put on our course list. So yeah, that's awesome. And
if you guys ever make it out this way, it'd be great to go on a little tour of some of these courses. We can go through in the forest.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can tell me, because I have a buddy who lives out in Langley, and he's used to be a lot into disc golfing, not so much anymore. So we just happened to be driving, and he took me to, I think is it Burnaby Park? It's like an 11 hole that's up and down. So that's the only thing I've had a chance to play in Vancouver. And I know that probably doesn't encapsulate what the best that the area has to offer. Yeah.
In Vancouver, it's, park space is at a premium, so we don't have a lot of space in the city here. But you go out towards Langley, we have Raptors Knoll, which is that one was close to being the choice for the desert island. Raptors Knoll, incredible course, not 45-50 minutes outside of Vancouver. And there's also Passive Park out there, which I find to be really fun, another larger course out in Langley. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to play and have fun with here. Burnaby specifically, they've done a great job engaging with the city to do a temporary disc golf course on the pitch and putt out there throughout the winter.
Okay.
That's been really fun. I've been going out there a ton, 18 holes, and apparently they've been getting a ton of people coming through, which is a great sign to the city. Hey, we're here, we're ready to pay some money to play disc golf on the golf course. yeah, I mean, and again, just down into the U.S., right across the border, there's Blaine Disc Golf Course, which also could make my list. Another incredible Pacific Northwest golf course to just go get lost in the woods. So,
Well, Daryl, we're taking him up on that offer if we get out there. Hey,
yeah. I mean, that's a good thing about doing this podcast. Is we get to interview these people from East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah.
And everybody that we interview has been so good and so gracious, and they always invite us out to play these courses with them.
Yeah.
We've got so many courses we have to go and play now.
For sure.
Which is not a bad.
It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Lane, we were just talking about discs, and you had kind of alluded to it earlier. You actually have some discs that we're going to be able to give away as well. Did you want to, if you have them there, we got the picture you sent us, but if you have them, do you want to show them real quick and let everyone know what we're giving away?
Yeah, for sure. Just 1 second here.
Okay. I'll bring up the picture while we're
talking about it. Okay, there's a quick picture.
There's a quick teaser of what these discs are.
Yeah, so I got 5 of them. I guess we'll figure out the details of how we're giving them away, but 5 new discs here. This one is one of our stamps from our tournament last year, our A3 Nationals. This one, A3 400 Glimmer. Super nice. Stamp on it. We actually just started posting up for our tournament this year. That's coming in September 13th, I think. So anyone out there in Canada, if you want to come and, take your shot at becoming the national champion of throwing A3, September 13th, Vancouver here. So come on out.
Do they have to challenge, can I ask, do they have to challenge Casey on that one? Is he coming out to...
I don't know. Casey, if you're out there, come through Vancouver, take the title away from my friend Chris. For the A3.
Yeah.
We got a couple of these Fractal PA3s. I got a Calgary Flames mini stamp one and a Canucks one.
Oh, there you go. Those look sweet. I like the Fractal. I don't know about the teams. They're not the Oilers, but I know we've got listeners who will really appreciate Calgary and Vancouver.
Yeah, for sure. And then I showed this one. This is like a color glow PA3.
So cool.
Yeah.
Nice premium
Awesome.
putter. And then our new plastic. This is an A5, like ultra soft. It's this super bendy stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. These are great in winter. I've been using this A5. I got to show you guys.
Yeah.
Job from Dojo Designs like this.
Yeah.
Thing. This is my Cardinal disc here. This one is crazy. So that
seen
one's
that
also
one.
softy, but
It's amazing.
A5. We'll give all those away. We'll figure out how you guys want to do that. But
yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, what we'll tell our listeners is watch for a post. We'll put something up on Instagram. We'll tell you about all the little things that you need to do to support Lane and support Chain Out, and we'll get some discs in some listeners' hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that sucks about doing this podcast is that we get all these discs and everyone wants to give them away.
Yeah. Well, that's good though.
But we don't get to keep them.
Oh, come on. Don't get all... What was it? Was it Alex got us a Roadrunner, remember?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I got more. I'll send you guys some stuff.
Oh, no, I was only joking.
We'll get some Oilers stuff in your hands.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
But we appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Lane, we appreciate all the time that you've taken with us. And before we let you go, is there anything that we didn't hit on or anything you wanted to shout out at all?
Nothing. I mean, I just want to say thanks to all the people that I've worked with over the years at Prodigy, at anywhere in the disc golf world, the artists, the people. It's been a lot of fun doing this stuff, but the operation of getting any of these things done is like a multi-person, huge amount of effort. Josh, my right-hand man at Prodigy, is the best person you could ever work with. Kelly, Justin, all the freelancers that we worked with, just huge thanks to those guys for making Prodigy look good and taking some of my just random ideas and making it a reality. So thanks to those guys.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you're right. It's like having that team to support you, and just everything we looked at tonight and talked about, you can see one person can have an idea, but when everybody comes together and really gels like the way you guys are, you're just blowing it out of the park, and we love it.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, Lane, and I'm sure we'll be either chatting with you in the Discord or we'll find a way to get out there and meet you in person.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Let me know. And if I'm back home in Alberta, I'll let you guys know as well. So
Perfect. We'd love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thanks for your time.
Alrighty. See you guys.
Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome. Daryl, what amazes me about disc golfers is how many hats many of them wear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think Lane's found a way to wear them all, is really what I think's happened when you think about it.
Yeah.
But between that and then the other thing, he's been able to combine his passion for design and for disc golf.
Yeah.
And going right back to that old saying is like, do something that you love and you'll never work another day in your life. Just looking at the way his eyes and his face lit up when he started talking about designs and kind of combining those loves together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so lucky to I mean, that's the thing that ties everybody together that we've interviewed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is so passionate about this sport that we love and all about promotion. And yeah, if it's one of those things that if you want to do something in disc golf, you're going to look for every opportunity to do as much as you can in disc golf.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that be, like you said, wearing different hats, not getting paid to do things, promoting it, everything, right?
Well, and you're right. Like, so he has his design company and then he's co-owner with Cardinal, which we've already heard. And we understand that they're not really taking money out of that. They're just trying to make disc golf better through Cardinal. Yeah. And then he's working with Prodigy as well. And
you get to look good doing it as well.
Good. For sure. Well, the chat was awesome tonight. Thanks for everybody for being in there. And if you want to support us, if you can jump onto our YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel, if you can follow us on Instagram, like our posts, comment on our posts, do those things that help get those algorithms moving and shaking and help us grow Canadian disc golf across this fine country of ours.
Absolutely.
And if you've already done all of that and you want to support us even more, check out our Patreon. You can join for free. There's also other levels you can support us. And if you want to support us for a one-time, check out our link tree and you'll find a place where you can buy us a beer. We always like that as well. Hey, Daryl, did I do it well?
You did. You're so good at doing those. That's why I leave them up to you.
And also, of course, we mentioned at this top, if you do want some Cardinal gear, drop Chain Out Podcast as your discount code and you'll get 10% off.
Just Chain Out.
Oh, Chain Out, sorry. Just drop Chain Out.
And the first two people to use the Chain Out code
are going to get the
will
Vanish.
Get the Vanish or the Reactor. The R2 Reactor, yeah.
Yeah. So first one gets the first choice, second one gets the other one.
Absolutely.
There we go. And we're going to start our Patreon Around the Basket episode in about 15 minutes. So head over there. You'll see the free link. We've got Andrea Michaud on tonight, another passionate disc golfer doing so much for women's disc golf in Canada. So check us out. Join us there. And Daryl, there's so many discs for you to choose from. What disc would you be picking up and throwing tonight?
Well, I mean, I'd like to take that A2 with the Calgary Flame stamp on it and just throw it down the fairway. Right. But I don't know if I should really do that. But I mean, you know what? Seeing as I have it on me and I would like to support him.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my Higo disc.
Your Higgy. My
Higgy disc.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to head out to any hole. Doesn't matter which hole. This is a great flying disc. Don't even know what it is. I've never thrown it. But it's got a stamp on it, so it's going to be good. So I'm going to take it to my local Dink and Dunk. Going to step up to the tee pad. You know what? I think I'm going to forehand this one. It feels good in the forehand.
And your forehand's been getting better every time I've seen it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to take it in forehand. I'm going to throw it. It's going to be a little short, 150, 200 foot hole.
Right.
It's going to go a little bit of turn.
Okay.
It's going to go glide. It's very glidey.
Gotcha.
Great disc. It's going to glide. It's going to start hyzering back towards the basket. It's going to go right towards those chains.
I know what it's going to do. Oh, wait, it can't do that because it's a Higgy disc.
It's a Higgy disc. It would never.
No, there's no way it could ever.
It wouldn't.
Chain out!
Thanks, everybody.
See you in about 15.